Today I'd just like to share a cool method for creating unique double exposures on film. Alright, future Norby here. Well, you're past Norby, but past Norby's future Norby. To say that I almost didn't release this video as the results weren't quite as good as I was hoping for. Still, I think the concept is really cool and the error was entirely my fault. So, do as I say, not as I do. Enjoy. First, a short explanation on how to create double exposures on film and how they work. So basically, when you take a photo, the film absorbs light and creates an image which will appear later after development. The lightest areas of the film can't really absorb more light, so they're set in stone or set in plastic and chemicals. However, the darkest areas of the film haven't really woken up yet. So if you took a second image on the same frame, the darker areas could now absorb light. Simply put, the dark areas of a photo can be exposed a second time. Most commonly, people will take one high contrast portrait and then a second photo of some texture to fill in the silhouette. So with the technique that I'm about to explain, we can use that science to add basically whatever we like to a photo. First, we're going to go onto our computer and create a black and white image, bearing in mind whatever is white will show up as white in your final image, and whatever is black is going to be used for the photo that you want to take. Then we're going to just take a photo of our computer screen. I suggest doing this in a completely dark room, maybe at night, or the lights off, or the curtains closed, so there's no light spilling in from any other direction, and your camera can focus really on the white image on the black background. For the exposure, I just took an exposure reading of my screen when it's being used everyday life, and then I added a stop just to make sure the white is going to punch. The next step varies depending on the camera you have, as each one has a different way of doing double exposures. Some of them it's a switch, some of them have a mode, a button. Box cameras just let you expose the same frame over and over again. Some cameras you have to kind of fudge it and hold something and then advance and then rewind at the same time. So I'll let you find out how your camera does the double exposure. But basically, what you want to do now is take a second photo on the frame that you just took of your computer screen and cross your fingers that you get a cool result. If you're doing a portrait shoot, which is definitely the easiest option, you take a photo of your computer screen and then a photo of your subject, rinse and repeat until you've finished your roll. Whereas I wanted to go out into the streets and use my pre-exposed shapes and words on photos of everyday life. So for that, what I did was, I set up my computer and my camera. I took a photo, then I took a note of what was in the frame. For example, bottom third, portrait orientation, words. Then advance to the next frame, change the image on my computer screen. Frame 2, landscape orientation, shape, top right hand corner. And did that and took notes for every frame. Then I rewound and reloaded the film. With medium format, it's quite easy to make sure you're lined up the same every time because there's a start marker on the medium format roll. But it's a bit of a hassle to rewind 110 film. Whereas 35mm, you can rewind it easily, but it's not always easy to make sure you start in the same place every time. So that's a problem for you to weigh up which one's better. But once you've done that, you load it up, you take your notes, your camera, you go outside, and you try to line up a subject with what you've pre-exposed on that particular frame. Here's some examples. I think they turned out pretty cool, and for a first try, I'm pretty happy with it. There was one big mistake in that I didn't re-roll the film tight enough. So on the second round, I had to push past a kind of lump, and I think that sort of misaligned everything from where I expected the frames to be. Most of the time I got away with it, except for this one photo of Koke, which was quite obviously supposed to be over his face. Maybe it's something that I'll try again in the future. I think it's definitely possible to get some interesting results with it. Either way, I hope that inspired you. Maybe you'll try something new thanks to this video. If so, Let me know down below, and if you have any more questions, also in the comments or write me on Instagram, I'll be happy to help out. Drop a thumbs up, maybe a little subscribe, and I'll see you next time.